no way out. Illusions, the only way I see the light tonight. I'm calling out, not a soul can hear me. Losing my sanity. Oh, I live without twisted thoughts, on my peace, just my reality. Been trying to breathe, down on my knees, it's killing me. My lungs are weak, 'cause life just ain't playing fair. Hard to believe, when what you need is out of reach. My world is suffocating me. I've been there. My world is suffocating me. I've been there. Not a soul can hear. My world is suffocating me. I've been there. I move in slow motion and I'm left behind. No one gets to ask if I could use a little prayer to guide me tonight. I'm calling out, not a soul can hear me. Losing my sanity. Oh, I live without twisted thoughts, on my peace, just my reality. Been trying to breathe, down on my knees, it's killing me. My lungs are weak, 'cause life just ain't playing fair. Hard to believe, when what you need is out of reach. My world is suffocating me. I've been there. My world is suffocating me. I've been there. You just give me and I give. Too easy to see the truth. I never want this to burn out. I never want us to burn down. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. Whoa, whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. Whoa. I've been driving through the clouds, waiting for the sun to come out. Just wanna see your face, wanna see your face. 'Cause it's the only thing I'm needing now. Raise your cup, but cheers into life, cheers into life. Hey, raise your cup, cheers into life, cheers into life. Whoa. Whoa, I didn't lose all through the night. Must be something on your mind. I know that you're lonely and you've been for a while. I see it in your eyes, I see it in your smile. I don't wanna let go, I don't wanna let go. We've been wanting more for so many years, and now it's finally here, finally here. I don't wanna hold back, I don't wanna hold back. Just hold you close and never let you go. 'Cause girl, you're beautiful, girl, you're beautiful. Girl, you're beautiful, girl, you're beautiful. There's more to say than how the story's told. Our hearts beat as one. We can't let that go to waste. All these memories can't fade away. They were made out of gold. They'll be there when we're old. I don't wanna let go, I don't wanna let go. We've been wanting more for so many years, and now it's finally here, finally here. I don't wanna hold back, I don't wanna hold back. Just hold you close and never let you go. 'Cause girl, you're beautiful, girl, you're beautiful.
I don't wanna go out on my own. Maybe we could stay and make a home. It's written on my heart and in my soul. You're the one good thing. And I don't think I've ever been so low. 'Cause losing you was worse than losing hope. And baby, I could never let you go. You're the one good thing I know. So tell me that it's all okay. Tell me we will find a better way. Just tell me that it's all okay. Just tell me that we'll find a better way. A better way, a better day. There's gotta be, it's you and me, it's everything. A better way, a better day. Just promise me we'll find a better way. Just promise me we'll find a better way. Just promise me we'll find a better way. No, I don't wanna blow up on the phone.
We found the right
Maybe we should
meeting.
never sleep alone. This isn't how we used to speak.
What's up, Benny?
Remember when our
Hello,
hearts would
how you doing, mate?
overflow? So tell me that it's all okay. Tell me we will find a better way.
It's a nice dark
Tell me
horse.
that it's all okay. Just tell me that we'll find a better way. A better way.
think I'm getting my, I should be getting my hot tub membership today, too, so when we get to the cool evenings, I can put my naked, glistening body out there and just kind of watch the we're going live.
I want to reiterate that, Haru. Well, I mean, that's
Hey, Shanti, you want to get this kicked off? So we have we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. So, yep. Sorry, everyone, for the meeting agenda screw up. But today is our last testnet council meeting. A week from today is May 1st, and so that's a big day for us, as you know. So we're gonna get started. Chris is about to catch a flight. Take it away.
I'm actually like this lounge got super busy all of a sudden, so I'm gonna pass it over to Benny so that I just can keep picking up.
all right. I'll pick up your slack there, Chris. So yeah, hi everyone. It's crazy that this day has even come. To be honest, I can't believe. I wish I actually knew how many meetings we've had now. But it's crazy that this is the last one, at least for now, within this kind of structure or context. Obviously, going forward, we'll still be running these meetings, but it'll be more kind of like all hands kind of round table. I appreciate we're pretty tight for time, so I don't want to take up too much time, but as always, really just want to reiterate how much we appreciate what the community has done. Obviously, last week we're kind of emphasizing everything that you guys have done in the council, all the way from doing the evaluations, getting the processes over the line, deploying the tokens, establishing of the values. And I think really today, just want to give a massive shout out to every single person that is in the community and just the way that they have embodied the values and are actually helping to grow Voy be what we want it to be, essentially. So I think maybe I'll just, I won't call anyone out. I'll just reiterate what the values are. As we all know, geeky. So goodwill, integrity, collaboration, intentionality. I see it day in, day out in the Discord. It's actually kind of crazy how sort of a buzz the entire community is right now, and I'm looking forward to that going forward as well. I think these next few months are going to be pretty explosive. So I'd say stay tuned, basically. But honestly, hats off to you council members as well for everything you've done over the last goodness knows how long right now. But it's really blown me away, and I know everyone else on the team. So I'll kind of end it there. Don't really want to take too much time, just because there is a hell of a lot to get done. Just honestly, massive thanks to every single one of you.
Thanks, Benny. Okay, so next, Chris, do you want to speak about the values? Is there?
Nope, I already just did that.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. Or sorry, I mean the FAQs.
Oh, the FAQs?
Yeah.
Where's that? Sorry, I've lost the agenda link myself. There it is.
It's in the chat.
Okay. These were actually the FAQs from last week, but I can run through them again if we want.
Okay, I think we're good unless people have pending questions about any of these things. Otherwise, we can move on to due diligence. Are there any questions about node running, NFT bridging, relay running? I don't think so. Okay. Okay, awesome. So we can move on. First, let's do IRL. She'll actually be doing two DDs. So we will start with her.
Hello. Let me just get the link. It's in the agenda as well. But I'll drop the link to the CP document as well. Oh no. Let's see.
Here, let me connect for you.
I almost just sent you all the agenda again.
Here.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I have too many screens in front of me. So the first DD I'm going to complete today is the NFT Games Tracker DD. It was submitted by Bo, and It was submitted in March, which I think is worth noting now that we are approaching May. There's quite a lengthy discussion period, community review period. This is a bounty that was submitted, has fulfilled for an open existing bounty out. The test net tokens being requested is 50 million. The problem being solved was specifically catered, the bounty that was open for this was catered towards, the document says NFT Olympics Tracker, which is what it was going to be called at the time. Now it's the VOI NFT game. So if you're unfamiliar and you're looking at this going, what the heck is an Olympics Tracker? That is the same as what we've been talking about for the last eight weeks now that the NFT games are concluding this week. So that's, yeah, it's not an Olympics, but just for any clarification. And, you know, the council passed the NFT game proposal, right? And so this was a necessary prerequisite for that to be possible, as well as a bounty was put out. So those boxes have kind of all been checked and have functioned excellently for the last 8 weeks. You can check it out with the link. It's included on the proposal, but also on the DD document. Let's see, I want to kind of, I know everybody's crunched on time today, but I want to make sure we don't gloss over any of the key comments about this. So I did include all of the comments. There's a link if you want to review them. But somebody had a question about the, like, how the snapshot would work. We tidied those loose ends up, that the games are ending Friday, so the code can be released, you know, between Friday and the 1st, essentially, to protect the veracity of the games and those individual games that these are KPIs for. This comment from Jay started with, I'm a whiny and lazy jerk, and I feel like it's important to just put yourself in the proposer's shoes, and I circle back to this later, that they weren't sure who they were talking to because English wasn't their first language. So, like, you know, in passing kind of snide remarks, just realized that it might, like, they were like really like, are you sure that he wasn't talking about me? And then they went as far to ask Jay directly whether or not Jay was talking about them or himself. So, like, just understanding that people might be perceiving it differently, especially if there's a language hurdle. So we did do that, but we also, I totally understood the feedback, and the proposal, if you give it a quick look over before you vote, has been outlined to include all of the bounty requisites and the stretch goals. I feel like it was a lot to ask people to jump between those two documents, so we tidied that up. Let's see, there is also feedback on the amount. There was a huge discussion on the amount for this. The open bounty is listed between 25 and 50 million tokens. And to me, if you review it, in summary, like, the bounty requirements were met, the timeline was met, the stretch goals were met, extra things have been done on top. To me, if this doesn't qualify for the top end, 100% of the recommended payout, I don't really know what does. And that was actually a source of contrition for some people. So I think that that's what we want to look at. Hopefully we've made it easier for council members to see on the proposal that those boxes have been checked, including stretch goals and additional features, really going above and beyond. I did highlight some of the Discord comments and tried to make it kind of easy to follow, but there were pages and pages and pages of comments about this. And given the council's latest discussions on making sure that we don't gloss over anything, I did try to, like, give the highlights, but we're really talking about a very condensed version. At one point, they had said that they would reduce the number of tokens, and then there was extra updates needed. So those were done. There was a lot of support as well. There's some code shared. Really, I'm going to skim down, but I mean, if you look at the Discord channel before voting and think this is a lot, review back to the DD, because I did spend a significant amount of time going through days and weeks worth of comments and kind of trying to pick and choose where those points were applicable and give you a highlighted version. So what you see is 3 pages, is probably closer to like 10. So feel free to review it, reach out if you have questions before you vote, because I did go through it rather extensively. But I think the largest challenge with the bounty and proposal wasn't like the dev work provided. It wasn't the quality of the work, the milestones that were reached. It was really that some people took issue with how bounties work in general. And I took issue with taking issue with that in the proposer form. You know, that's your dirty laundry or our dirty laundry that we failed to iron out. It doesn't, not the time or the place to discuss it. And if you read through that discussion, it was disheartening to see that Bo kind of had to face the music, as it were, about that. So what I would say is, for sure, further discussion if you're unhappy with the bounty process, but looking at the facts of what was delivered, the time in which we gave them to deliver it, essentially, the fact that the NFT games hinged on it, I don't know what else we could have asked for from this proposer personally. So I am in full support of passing it. Please reach out to me if you have questions or you are considering not supporting this. Because yeah, I just have the stance after really digging into it that the few issues there were either addressed to make it easier to see the information that you wanted to see, or were not really applicable to this specific proposal or bounty, but more applicable to the bounty process overall. So I'm in support, and I hope that you can support Bo with this proposal. Again, reach out if you have questions. Sorry, I know that was long, but there were a lot of comments. Any quick questions, or feel free to reach out to me immediately after the meeting and I can go over anything.
Great job of bringing the Discord into the document. That was awesome to see, and great presentation. I think you can roll into the next one.
Thank you. All right, here is the next link for the retroactive high forward, which was submitted by PropStack. I got it, I think. Okay. That's Austin Mitch. For the record, just for clarification, I dealt exclusively with Mitch for this proposal. Austin being on the council, I think he's still abstaining, but he just didn't want, he wanted to stay hands off and really not use any of his influence as far as this goes. So I dealt with Mitch on this, but they were submitting for retroactive incentives for the High Forge platform in the amount of 125 million. There's a bunch of different features that problems are addressed by. Some of it is the smart NFT contracts, but some of it has to do with like the rarity sniping and the fair distribution as well. So what they really wanted to do was make it easy for creators to create and kind of protect the backside, or like watch their six as far as collectors or people with less than great intentions coming in and rarity sniping, addressing some of those old shuffle issues. So overall, I mean, I highlight, and I'm going to skip down to my opinion and then we'll review the comments, but like I am an avid NFT collector. I own a lot of Void testnet NFTs, but I also own a lot of NFTs other places as well. And I was so impressed. Chef's kiss, every emoji with how HighForge functioned at the onset of the NFT game. Like, we could not have asked for better performance, especially in the testnet environment on a new chain. I just, as a collector, my experience was good, but also as somebody working on Void on the back, on kind of backstage, I was really proud too of like the builders and knowing kind of how that works. So for me, like that speaks for itself. Retroactive grant funding is something that is super easy for me to get behind, but I do want to address a couple quick comments that people left about it. So they highlighted that 33 projects, one of them sold out in less than a minute, several others within a few minutes. There was a lot of traffic, it handled it. It was humbling that people felt like they maybe should have asked for more than 125 million tokens given everything that they've done. he said it just felt right. They're not going to ask for more tokens for the bridge. That was a question down here in the Discord section. Somebody had said, well, are you going to be submitting again for this NFT bridge? And they said, no, it's going to be all inclusive. But really looking at the token amount, the 125 retroactively for what they delivered to me is just really impressive. There was a question. The original comment says, great and vital product to the Voi ecosystem. Having the bridge, including as icing on the cake, will the entire project be open source? And so Mitch did provide a really great response in addition to the GitHub there that obviously not the whole Launchpad is open source, but all of the smart contract coding will be. And there's some available, but as the bridge continues to be developed, obviously that additional code set's only going to grow. Let's see. It's retroactive, so there aren't any milestones or anything necessarily to overcome. That was one of the reasons why I was so happy to step up and take a look at this. Like I said, it was a prerequisite for the NFT games. Both of my DGs were prerequisites to make that possible. I think it's gone really well overall, but either way, the work got done, right? So I think it's important that we step up and reward that on both of these. I enthusiastically endorse this one, just like I endorsed the last. In my opinion, that these are the examples of the builders that care and make changes on the fly and just make things work in a positive way and are ultra responsive to all types of comments. But if you do have any questions about any of these, definitely reach out.
Thanks, IRL. I think we can
Sorry,
move on.
Lobo. I'm over on time by a couple minutes.
Okay, thank you. We can move on to Haruf.
Yo. Okay, so let's get right into it. This is a pretty easy one. It was retroactive funding for Algo League Spot. I believe everybody should have probably used Algo League Spot at this point in time. It's pretty much something that I use on a daily basis. Their original ask was like 3 million tokens, which is dreadfully low compared to the amount of use that it gets. The current ask is 10 million, and the comments on it in the initial proposal were all very positive in favor of this thing passing. So I didn't include those comments because they were all just very positive. I do have a quick summary at the top there that I'm not going to go all the way into since you guys probably know about what it does. They have been running this bot for 6 months now on testnet, and then over 1.5 years on Algorand. The tipping features on Voi is used on average 150 times per day by the community. And users interact with the bot thousands of times per day for balance checks and transfers and things like that. So I added some kind of data points because I haven't seen that in a lot of things. I thought it might be nice to go back and check that out later on. The rain feature I feel is an effective way to engage with the community, and also to target specific roles, and an excellent way to publicly reward individuals. We use it in the Dork community to send out approximately 300,000 tokens on a weekly basis, and I don't have any kind of concerns that it's going to get lost or something. In fact, it did get lost one time. I contacted them and it was resolved within 5 hours. So they're very responsive. The additional support for ARC 200 peer-to-peer tipping, as well as the node faucet, were added into this proposal. Those are things that have already been accomplished. The team stated that the work that they've conducted on testnet will carry over to mainnet. The cost is nominal. It's like $5 a month to continue to run this thing. And they're stated that they're here for the long haul. So my recommendation is that we go ahead and pass the proposal. 5 or 10 million additional tokens for the amount of work that they put in is not a lot. And I think that this is a very valuable asset for phase 1 of testnet, but I think it'll be equally important in phase 2 because of the public nature of tipping and the ability to kind of bond communities together through Discord. So that's my proposal. Not a lot of time. Any questions? Great job, Haruf. See you guys.
Thank you for keeping it super succinct. Wilder.
Okay. I took over the MobiTrack streamlined via delivery. So this is making sure that Rach gets paid out for the full scope of her work. What I thought was going to be a 19-week role got condensed into more of an 8-week role, but there was still all of the history of everything we've done over the last 6 months that she had to get caught up on. She's been working around the clock, much harder than I intended when I created the amount for the weekly payout, and she's, in my mind, proven herself. I think Zyvoid made a great choice in selecting her, and she's also helped make some changes and streamline the process already since she's been in the role. Very on top of things. This proposal, where it got negative feedback, was around awarding the additional $3 million for stretch goals when the stretch goals were essentially off the table in the first iteration of the proposal, and having a conversation with Scotty, which then was relayed to Rach. The stretch goals are back on the table now, and Rach will be looking into those post May 1st and seeing what she can accomplish in the efforts of automation and making the administrative task easier for herself or someone in the future doing that role or collaborating. So the main negative feedback was based around that, largely was the stretch goals not being there and being paid for it. The 19 weeks being condensed into 8 weeks, I think, just speaks to when I had this over 19 weeks, it was getting everything done, and Rach, in effect, will be getting everything done. So with the stretch goals being added back in, I believe I have addressed the critical feedback of 13 being too much and it should be 10. And I do think that awarding Rach the $3 million in good faith is responsible, and I do believe she can complete this. That was the defining factor or the largest factor that made us go with Rach over Void Dweller at the time. And I think it's important that we should get maximum value for this. If she does have automation skills and spreadsheets and Excel, we should take advantage of that. It's also broken into 4 milestones, which you could read on the proposal, but essentially holds her to account that she completes, that no proposal is left behind if they've engaged. And this is going to ensure that all our developers are happy and they get paid. Does anybody have any questions?
Just a quick one. So the additional things are just automation, I think. I don't know if the way proposals are presented and approved and things will stay. So maybe someone with more knowledge should say something about that.
Fair point. Scotty brought that up as well. The idea was that Rach is going to be collaborating with Shanti when she's iterating on these on the automation of this. So the goal is what she works on will be in collaboration with the core teams to make everything more efficient. So I believe that's been addressed. But if a core team member wants to say something before we move on, feel free.
All good on my side. I think you said everything.
Okay, awesome. Super Synapse.
Hello. All right, I'm gonna paste in. It should be the proposal. So I can format my DD paper. I did not. I just copied and pasted my notes. I have not formatted it for that yet. I didn't realize that was a link. But long story short, met with Rach. Had a really good talk with her about Treehouse Toolbox. I came to the conversation a little bit skeptical. I'd seen some feedback about the token price being a little bit high. You know, based on my visiting the website, I kind of agreed with that as well. But as we talked, I really was amazed at how much they have put together. And I really do believe that the Treehouse Toolbox is worth every bit of 65 million and potentially more. So in the proposal, I had her from our meeting put together notes of a response to all the feedback. So for anyone who has given feedback, negatively or positively, I highly recommend you check that out. But like really, the main takeaway from me is, you know, we have HighForge for minting NFTs. We have Nautilus for secondary sales. this Treehouse Toolbox provides an immense amount of tools that's outside of those two categories for the community and building and participating with your community in that NFT project. And the same thing is also true as well with ARC 200s on Humble Swap or other swaps that come in, being able to do airdrops, recognize LPs and do airdrops based on that, being able to airdrop both ASAs as well as inscriptions and other things for native assets, and doing that for the new smart contract tokens we have, like ARC72s. So just realize that, you know, it is a little bit of a rush for them based on the timeline being expedited. So a lot of things are in beta currently. So I don't think that the website accurately represents all of the things that they're doing or the UI, etc. So just realize it will be a proper domain in the future. It's going to have better UI in the future. It's going to have a lot more tools added. Rach has done an amazing job putting together a bunch of guides for each one of those tools. Currently, they're kind of hidden in a link tree, but they will be on the website in the future. So you'll have like I want to airdrop a community. There'll be a little eye or guide button that you can click, and it'll take you to show you exactly what to expect. It's pretty darn intuitive. Something else I'll also say is that they're not just building a tool. There's been a lot of work that they have done with Shelley to update libraries. So there's all kinds of new possibilities. It's not necessarily part of this proposal, but they have really built and expanded Voi's capabilities with these new smart contracts, as well as building the tools on top of that. So I do want to make that something that people are aware of. There's a lot more than just a simple tool. And the more and more I dove into it, a lot of these tools are very different and far more advanced than what Bo had put together for the NFT games. So it's not just a copy paste, if that makes sense. It's all new code that had to be put together and some really cool features. And I will say, if you read through the proposal, there's a few lines of what they've created that are very easy to like skim over, but you can update the metadata in your NFT collection as the creator here. So if you design an NFT collection on HighForge and mint it, you're able to then update the images. If you wanted to like have an evolution, you're able to update traits. I believe you're able to add traits as well. So some really, really cool tools that are going to be fleshed out with this as it comes out. I don't want to get too deep into the feedback. I do feel that anyone who had feedback can read through that. I think we really lined it out well. But I do want to be clear, this is not redundant to a lot of other things. It's really its own thing. And that's the difference between reading the proposal and actually talking through it and seeing the tools themselves. So just wanted to make that awareness. I fully back this. And I came in a little skeptical with the original thought of like, maybe we should shoot for 50 mil on this instead of 65, but I actually think this could have gone for 75 personally, or in that ballpark. So I'm very, very happy with what they put together. I also wanted to real quickly touch on the first milestone on the document has been completed, and I have verified that. Milestone 2 is also completed. There's one or two things that are still slightly in progress, but the tools are there. They're just not on the website, or they don't have UI yet. I also want to say that their team is committed to long-term support. That's both keeping it up to date as new standards happen or change, as well as customer support if people run into issues, etc. And I don't want to discount that value that Rach is adding long-term. They plan for this to go on forever and be kind of a fees-based system. Some of that still needs to be worked out once they get it finished. But within the proposal, it's promised to be at least 1 year of customer support. But they have plans to go further than that. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question around the open sourcing. I looked for a GitHub link in the document, and I noticed the milestones include open sourcing relevant code. Is there a GitHub link that will be provided that
Will
can be
be-
included in the document?
I'll touch base with her on that. I know they have the code and it will be open sourced. My understanding is some of it's still being worked on, but I'll reach out to her. But I have no concerns about it being open sourced at a later point.
Step down from the mic, so Lobo.
Just a future thing, because kind of not enough time. We should make sure that the right people get paid for the right things they done. Because, yes, they built on top, so they actually built some stuff and built on top of some stuff, but some things came from Shelly. And we should just make sure that everybody is aware what comes from which dev, and potentially if the original dev that open sourced the code just for nothing gets potentially paid for it, or is maybe more better, is aware that people get paid for part of their work and if they are fine with that.
I think that's a good point.
Touch
I
on, in my due diligence, Rach and Z Hamster are going to split roughly 15 million, and then Bo and Shelly are going to split the remaining roughly 45 million. And they have that all worked out. I don't know how important that is in the proposal. I can ask her to update that if you want, but it is in my due diligence for what that's worth.
did you say that you had compiled all the responses somewhere? Is there a link there, or?
You go to the
Is-
main proposal. She has responded to every one. It's at the very bottom. There's a header called extras. And I feel it's good so when people vote, they can immediately see responses to feedback there without additional link trees.
Yeah, you can link that like specific comment probably from Discord in your GD doc.
We could. It got a little bit a little bit goofy because there was multiple people with the same concerns. So we just kind of bullet pointed each concern and then kind of went through that. Token price was a big one that people mentioned, and then redundancy or like it being a niche product that most people won't use was a little bit of another concern. But after going through it, I fully believe both of those are not a concern in my mind.
I'm a little concerned that we don't have a link though. Like I trust them to open source it, but at the same time, like if you're saying that milestone's complete, we should be able to like cross the T's and dot the I's on it. If it's, if you're representing it as complete, we should, to vote on it, we should be able to verify that.
Cool. I'll follow up with her and Bo. Realize she's Australian time, so it might be a little later today, but I'll see if they can get a link in there before we vote. Absolutely.
Awesome. Great first due diligence synapse. Lobo, if you could please come up.
Okay, due diligence on wrapped Voi, and now I don't know if Shelly added Ulu.js in the title, but I did for now. On wrapped Voi and Ulu.js, and they are requesting 10 million via. So essentially, two problems are fixed. Multiple token standards in an ecosystem means potentially more difficulty to develop stuff on Voi. So, and it's hard to work with reach contracts, apparently, using Algo SDK. And so what Shelly did is he implemented a wrapper for Voi and VSAs into Arc200 tokens. So devs can just focus on Arc200 tokens. And he did build Ulu.js, a generic AVM smart contract library, which just makes it easy to interact with all kinds of contracts using an ABI, which is essentially just a standardized way of interacting with smart contracts, as far as I know. And it is getting used a lot in the ecosystem already. And I think we all know Shelly. So multiple governors pointed out that obviously Shelly has done a lot of great work for Voi. He already, or as part of it, essentially just the link to the VSA wrapper is dead, but that will be fixed. Someone asked if 10 million via is too much, and I will come to that. and that these wrapped VOI, if it would be seen as an LST, so a liquid staking token, it wouldn't be a great long-term solution because Shelley didn't really he didn't think about potential risks like centralization, balance of pools, and a max cap on wrapped VOI minted. Additional insight. For now, it's all off, so the rewards are getting distributed through off-chain tracking. That's important for wrapped VOI. It's not supposed to be a fully fledged LST. So the focus should be more on the contracts and developers just being able to use it in their product, like Shelley's doing with Humble and Nautilus. And Shelley believes that 10 million VIA also is just a fair amount for the wrappers alone. And Shelley added great things to the proposal after I asked him to explain more. So every governor should check that out. He really explains why ARC200 wrappers and Ulu.js are valuable. And I mean, Shelley is probably the developer with the most experience when it comes to ARC200 tokens, so that's invaluable. And the proposal now includes Ulu.js, which means it's just way too low. So the endorsement is very simple after Ulu.js got included. It's yes, absolutely. Maybe a comment on the general way of just adding things to proposals. Probably not a good idea. But we have not that much time left that we could have just said, okay, just do another proposal for Ulu.js. So I just said, okay, I'm fine. In this case, I will just include it. Yeah.
For those not aware, Ulu.js makes it so people like myself can interact with smart contracts. Ulu.js is so huge, it's probably bigger than wrapped VOI in my opinion. So thank you, Shelley, for your generosity.
Okay. I think Wilder, we can move on to the open floor. You're muted.
Hey, so NFT games tooling is going to be starting at 11 a.m. We're still getting applications rolling in. If people can't present live, they've been requested to record 3-minute videos so that they can be played, and then we can have judging. The goal here is that we're going to have content that will be able to be shared through the various channels. Cody is going to make himself available for that, and I've included in the I've included the tracking sheet that I'm using right now to organize people. If we don't fill out that schedule, we'll condense the timeline so that we don't have a lot of dead time. But right now I'm leaving a space between each application so we can have a comfortable flow with the event. Based on the submissions now, we aren't going to go over an hour. So that's my estimation for it. So that covers the NFT games tooling. Thank you, Ost, IRL, and Chris for being judges. And that will be happening on Thursday.
I'm going to ask Thursday where?
Let me just confirm here. It's going to be I need to confirm with Cody, but I believe with video we're going to be able to do it on the open office or the stage. I just need to confirm which of the two is going to be usable for it.
You need Chris or Ost or I before 11. Or do you just want to say at 11?
Okay. For the and I will send a message in governors and message you so everyone's very clear on where to be and at what time. The cutoff for 11 a.m. EST. Okay. The cutoff for token release requests. Rach has brought up the point that we can't be filling things in like someone submits a minute before the deadline. Gives enough time to fill in paperwork and get signatures and confirmation. So she's provided when she's last available, that's 4.5 hours before the cutoff, which I understand is May 1st at midnight. Just so we're all clear, UTC, midnight UTC on May 1st is the official cutoff for phase 1. So I took this from the announcements channel, so I assume that's our source of truth for this. Rach is available up to 4.5 hours before that cutoff time. I will also be fine as long as I'm not have a conflict of interest to fill in token release forms up to that time. I'm in a time zone that's more favorable for that. So anyone who can work on this paperwork and fill it in if you don't have a conflict of interest, feel free to help out. I'm not expecting token release requests to need to be filed at that time. This is just what I'll call emergency protocol. The actual recommendation is that you have your request submitted and at message Rachel at least 6 hours before the end of phase 1, which gives her at least an hour and a half to address all those concerns. But we really don't want to leave people behind. We want to make sure that people are all getting their tokens released. And to reiterate, there will be the core team, even if you don't have the tokens in your wallet by the snapshot date, if the core team has to work through the paperwork, which is going to be a large influx, they will be credited to you. So the biggest thing that we need to do as a council is make sure that we're signing off on everything. And at that point, the developers can feel confident that they will get their token release requests pending core team sign off.
I just want to confirm again that the end of phase 1 and the snapshot are the same date and time.
Correct. Yes. And just to make it super clear, it will just be whatever block is closest to the end time. Right now, that stands at midnight. So as we tick into the 1st of May, but I do see Chris is wondering whether we should change it to midday on May the 1st, just so nobody gets confused. That's something we can discuss probably after this anyway. But to be clear, it'll just be whatever block is closest to whatever the time is after the time has occurred.
Okay, so I'll look for that announcement. Lobo?
We probably should make sure that we help Rage a bit out in the sense that if we were a DD person for a proposal and we know it hasn't been signed off, we should probably all just ask the proposer, if they are ready and stuff. So it's not just on Rage pinging everyone. Maybe we should also just help if we were the DD person.
I just got confused now. So are we talking 11:59, the last minute of May 1st, or the first minute of May 1st UTC?
It would be the first second, or maybe depending on when the block falls, but it'd be the first block on the 1st of May. If that makes sense.
Okay, I think
maybe we'll change it to midday on May the 1st, but either way, whatever the time is, it's just be the first block.
I don't know, 12:01 again. You tell us.
okay. I think I have understanding. And Lobo, we definitely, like you said, we need people who've done due diligence to step up and just please do your best to make yourself available on that day. That being said, I will be available without a conflict of interest, as well as the other directors, to make sure that we get things signed off. And I'm confident we're going to be able to get that accomplished and make sure that at any point the ball is in the proposer's court if they are not stepping up to get it done. So I'm going to be helping Rach with the app messages as well and making sure that no one gets left behind. And my final topic that I had for open discussion was the directors have something I'll say special planned for the next meeting. Now I know that we're not meeting in an official capacity, but in a unofficial capacity, from what I understand, we're still going to be having these meeting times at the same time. Can that be confirmed by the core team at this point?
Yeah, anyone is invited, and there'll be weekly roundtables. So everyone is welcome to join noon on Wednesday. Right, as of now, they're the same time as this meeting.
Awesome.
And-
Okay, so we'll have something fun planned because we still have one final directors meeting before it all wraps up. So look forward to that. It's going to be fun, and you can see some hints as to what we're planning in the director's notes. Okay, open it up to everyone. Lobo.
I guess we have time. So we probably should talk about the hiring of D40. Sadly, Chris is not here anymore, which would be kind of the main point to talk about it. I just believe that the core team hired someone who doesn't follow the values of Voi, and they should make clear in the future that the person who they hire does follow the values, and if they not, they can give people a chance, but they should do it before the person gets hired. And in particular, there are people in Voi who weren't a failed community manager from a different project, who weren't a failed governor on Voi, who probably would have liked to get at least a chance to be a community manager for Voi, but they didn't know about it. And that's kind of bad. So even if Haruf always tries to argue that's a personal problem, it's not a personal problem. I don't care about him. I don't care that he blocked me. I care that he blocked a lot of other community members, though, and those community members weren't aware of that. So from their perspective, they haven't done anything. And again, just blaming other people on Twitter because other people believe in different things is kind of weird. And that's not something we need on Voi, in my opinion.
I know Lolo's gone into great detail on why he thinks that's a bad choice, and I'm not in that camp. Like, you know, it doesn't really, one community manager doesn't make or break it, but I think he does have a valid point on the radical transparency. We didn't know you were looking for community managers, so that I feel like is something with substance that could be taken as feedback moving forward. I am not personally aggrieved at the hiring of D40, but I do think that that is an opportunity to really, you know, step forth with that radical transparency on things that, you know, spots we need filled.
I think that's I mean, it's a good point, and definitely agree with you there, IRL. That is something that already starting to take action to solve. That did seem to be the main root of the issue that I think most people could agree with. So going forward, there will actually be sort of career boards for the different branches of governance. There is also going to be an ambassador program coming up, which is obviously open to all. But I'm also wanting to see if we can have some kind of, I don't know quite how to frame it. It'd be great to get your guys' feedback as well, but some kind of bounty board or some kind of sort of hemp board where, you know, we'd be able to put out when we need an extra pair of hands on things. But those are kind of the three main ways we're going to look to acquire more talent, if you will. And I think that'll be quite effective going forward.
I'm elated with the hire. I support D40. I think he's done a great job in the less than a week that he's been working on it. I've seen and heard the input that's against it. People are entitled to their opinion. People are entitled to resign from councils if they want to. People are entitled to say that things have not been done properly every step of the way. They're free to do that. It is part of the blender of information that we take on. As far as posting jobs, etc., to be clear, D40 wasn't hired by the foundation. D40 was hired by the Block Authority. We hired someone that we are compensating out of our own assets, and we will do postings when we think it's appropriate, necessary to do a broader search. We had a moment in time where someone became available that we thought fit a specific need for community management, which people have their own definitions of community management. For his specific role, we think that he's an outstanding professional, extraordinarily organized, and we are about to be managing a significant amount of marketing initiatives. And many of you who have problems with how D40 handled things in the past will never speak to him in any capacity whatsoever in that role. It's a different job. It's a different company. We're elated about him. He's a phenomenal worker. He's put in 10-hour plus days every day since he's been with the company, and we can't be happier.
I just wanted to, lots of people stepped up. I'll be quick.
To be clear, I'm being radically transparent. I'm explaining the fact that people are expecting radical transparency for a testnet council that didn't hire this person. So I'll break down the differences. There's a company called Block Authority Inc. out of Delaware. It is owned by 4 people: Benny, Shanti, Chris, and Bill. We have undertaken a substantial portion, if not all, of the cultivation of the network. We've orchestrated this testnet council. We've used it to be part of a process to analyze how governance should or should not work on mainnet. And we also had no blowback to hiring Henrik. Why is that? Because he didn't know who he was. So there are specific needs that we have for our company, and we will provide more transparency in the future about people that we like and don't like for a future job. But to be clear, we made a hire, and some people don't like it, and I simply hope that people enjoy the work that is done by him in the future, because so far he's done a great job. He created our Telegram. He's added a complete overhaul of the Discord. He's done a number of things that have been fantastic. And does he have, a certain inability to communicate with certain individuals? I share that inability as well with the same person. So it is what it is. So going forward, we will continue to provide whatever transparency, and a lot of transparency comes down to questions. We don't share every single thing that happens with you because it's virtually impossible.
I just wanted to thank Lobo as well. I think it's great that we have a lot of contrasting opinions, and that he made some strong points, stood up for what he thought was in the best for Void, not the best personally. And you've made so many amazing contributions to the Testnet Council. So thank you, Lobo.
As the current community manager, D40 has a lot of skills that I don't have, and I have a lot of skills that he doesn't have, and we work really well together. I was one of the people that talked and said I think this is one of the good fits that's going to help complement me and help me do my job. Plus, he has a lot more free time than I actually do, and he has been a magnificent asset since he has joined. And I'm happy to be working alongside him. We work really well, and I just want to add that real fast, guys, because this was also the person we chose was a guy that's working alongside of me. So I chose him, and he is fantastic. I helped choose him, and then I think he's fantastic, and we all agreed, and he helps out a lot, and he makes things a lot less stressful as we keep growing. And keep moving forward, and I can start focusing on other things, and he can focus on other things. And if you don't want to talk to him, you can always come talk to me, and vice versa. And that's why we, 2 of these community managers work really well, because there's always someone here for you guys to talk to and be really responsive. So keep that in mind, and he's great so far. If you guys got a problem, come talk to me. We'll figure it out. We'll get it issued, and we'll move forward. Okay, I'm happy to talk to you guys anytime moving forward if you have any issues, or vice versa. Go talk to him if you got a problem with me. This is how this works. This is how we get things fixed. We talk about it. We try new things, and we at least let it run its course and see how it goes. At least give the man a chance to mess up before we start burning the bridge. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Cody.
Cody. I'd be surprised if anyone has a problem with you, Cody. But I do think it's important to, be open to people coming in. I think there's only really an issue if people are in the community and they're not following the values. We can't expect everybody fresh to coming in to automatically be adhering and even know what the values are. So I think the emphasis is really on educating those that do come in and ensuring that they do live up to the ethos of what we're building here.
I'd like to thank everyone that participated on the council. This is the last meeting, as far as I understand it. So I appreciate all the work that's been put in. I'll give a quick update that I think is of importance to everyone on this call, or that's just watching online. As effective yesterday, we've confirmed the formation of all of our legal entities that are necessary for a full mainnet launch. The reason that's important is we are now able to formally transact business with amongst those entities, some of which are completely independently owned and directed. So the core team, the founders of the Block Authority, we do not have control of the foundation. It's a separate entity. We also will be working with an entity that is the technical token issuer out of another country. And we have set our first board meeting for the Block Authority for Monday. So we will be in a position on Tuesday for our first meeting with the foundation to present all of our findings from testnet phase 1, so the foundation can make an informed decision to make decisions on how and when announcements will be made for mainnet token allocations, including what we hope will be their determination on what the treatment is of phase 1 and of phase 2. So phase 1, this is just my personal view on all of it. Phase 1 testnet was supposed to be participated by those who had blind faith in the process, that we would become something that is community oriented, community driven, and largely community owned through the token allocations and through a more decentralized governance process that's developed in concert with the community from the outset. And so phase 1 should, in theory, and it will be one of my recommendations to the foundation, that it should, in theory, be treated handsomely for doing that, for having that faith, for being true believers, for putting in the effort, putting in the time, putting in their own money. And phase 2 is a very different exercise. Phase 2 is designed specifically to know up front what you're getting out of it. And so it should be easier for onboarding. It should be more simplistic to get people into the system. Everyone can evangelize it very easily by saying, if you do this, you'll get that. Look at this chart. And so as a consequence, there's going to be an organic building of a community where there's earlier adopters have, call it more real estate, just like the expansion to the west of America to say. So as you know, if you were there first, you grab a plot of land. And so I'm hoping over the next week and a half, there'll be a series of announcements that we can promote heavily, and that everyone on this testnet council can finally recognize the fruits of their labor and see how much they, in my view, will have been appreciated for everything they've done.
Shelley?
Yeah, thank you, Gov. I just wanted to bring something up. I kind of sunk into me that like when we get to phase 2, I think it will be confusing to have VIA, like the VOI incentive asset. So we need to think about a way to kill it, right? And so just so that you know, everyone here, I don't know if this is the responsibility of the council, but everyone here has heard it. Let's we probably need to kill VIA, you know, after May 1st, some way.
Yeah, I think obviously, I mean, it'd be impossible for us to claw back everything and destroy it. But I think what's going to happen is we're just going to no longer reference it at all. So it'll just fade into irrelevancy. Like we're only going to be referencing just VOI only within the context of the testnet anyway, just for people to actually use to interact with things. But at the end of the day, people can, they can send it back to the seed wallet, if you will. But I don't think we can really do anything substantial to claw back those tokens, and I think we're just going to have to let it die. It's just going to fade into irrelevancy.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. I think I have an idea, but I think it would be like really confusing for the new incoming community members to see it in like it's a incentive token, but there's no incentive for it, and you know.
Yeah, I think the way we're going to solve this is just nobody talk about it anymore. It's gone. It's what was it? We don't talk about VIA. So I think that's the only way it's going to be. It's not going to be in any of the documentation to do with the next phase at all. We're certainly not going to reference it in any official capacity other than referencing back to, if we're looking backwards. But yeah, for any new joiners, they shouldn't ever see VIA, really.
Okay, cool. I have a plan. Just a fun game. So
okay, yeah, go for it. I'm happy for that as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do with it. Whatever you want to do with it. Go crazy.
And Shelley, maybe just to protect the NFT holders who might not be there May 1st, I don't know if you can like turn off a buy button or something like that, just so it doesn't go past a snapshot and then someone just cleans out every NFT for sale.
Yeah, I think there's a concern there. So what I can do is I actually can like lock down the marketplace so no sales can take place. I could do that, but I'll also like I could also like delist everything. So I think that will be a good way, a good thing to do because because everything is listed in VIA, right? So I think I'll I'll help out there, like maybe at the last day, you know, we'll just start from a clean slate.
Great. I think that's a great solution, and that will definitely keep people happy. Um, yeah, a little tough for me. I don't really have any planned closing remarks. I actually foolishly thought we had another meeting, so that's I misinterpreted what midnight meant on May 1st. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for putting your trust in me, Andrew, and Zyphoid. And I look forward to helping Void in phase 2 and what we have in our future. Also, I think the core team has done an excellent job getting us to this point, and I am extremely excited and have never been more bullish, let's say, on Void. And I think it's a testament to everyone's hard work here, the community, and the core team, everyone that's made this happen. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Wilder. I just want to also thank everyone. You've taught us a ton that will take many of those lessons to mainnet. So thanks for, you know, being our teachers and our partners during these past few months. And we look forward to, you know, continuing to work with you. And we will continue to hopefully meet every Wednesday. So please do, you know, show up. It's not the end.
It's just the end of the beginning is
The
all.
end of the beginning. Exactly. Okay, well, thanks everyone. Do you have
Thanks,
some?
everyone.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend.
As your final broadcaster, this is my final message. You guys have a